everybody. Welcome to the first episode of whatever this is. It's kind of an experiment, kind of a local food review part podcast. And the first episode, Christmas episode, I am here with my friends Brandon and Jean. I'm gonna make for them Judy's hot chocolate from the Santa Claus. And then they've already picked a name out of the hat. We're going to this place called Cowboy Chicken. So the aim of this series is to go to local places as well as places that we love. Places that have been undiscovered or I think don't get enough credit or publicity. So the place that you picked is called?
Cowboy Chicken.
Cowboy Chicken.
That's right, yeehaw.
And we're gonna kind of cross categories for this one because it is kind of like a local thing, but it's still kind of a chain. So what we're gonna do for this one is both local favorite and this other category that I call chain-ish, which is a chain, but also like not really all that well known. The first, I don't know if this is the first one in Florida, but it is the first one that's closer to us for sure. This place is in an area of 192 called Margaritaville, which is not far from where I live. It's about 10 minutes down the street, so yeah, real easy.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, a little bit about us. I mean, we've all known each other 10 plus years. Just good friends, man. Good friends, sharing this adventure with you guys, you know, and sharing our love for food and our love for other things that you guys will see that come down the line. But yeah, we just wanted to do what we can to show you the little things in a big way.
Yeah,
absolutely. So and yeah, that's our story. So yeah, come join, watch, hit that like button, you know, subscribe, all that.
Smash that subscribe button.
That's right.
Okay, so in our pot we have heavy cream, 2% milk, and a few different mix-ins. I like pumpkin pie spice and almond and vanilla essence. And then in our cocktail mixer, since Judy's recipe is shaken, not stirred, we have powdered sugar, abuelita, Mexican hot chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate chips, pre-made hot cocoa mix, and also some powdered sugar, as well as a little pinch of kosher salt. Okay. So I've been stirring this milk for probably, like 10 minutes?
I would say so, yeah, about 10 or 15.
Yeah. And it's to the point where it's starting to smoke a little bit. We don't want it to scald or like boil. We want it to be just hot.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take ladlefuls of the dairy and scoop it into our little cocktail shaker here. And mind you, this is all experimentation. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Like, full disclosure, this is first time I'm trying this.
Hey, we have faith in you. Don't worry.
Alrighty. So the kind of sugar that I ended up using here is powdered sugar. Just because I feel like it'll dissolve a little bit easier than like a turbinado or like a granulated white sugar will. So that you don't have like those granules of like sugar at the bottom of your cup. But the best part of hot chocolate for me is finding like the little pieces of chocolate at the bottom of your mug, you know? So that's kind of what I want a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I've closed my cocktail shaker. I'm going to try to close it as much as I can. There we go. Be very careful here. And I'm going to shake it over the sink. I have an oven mitt and a pot holder here. And we're going to go ahead and move to the sink. Oh, careful there, B.
Oh.
Yep, exactly.
Right. It's all experimentation, guys.
Yeah.
You know? It's all fun and games, but safety is your number one priority. So just make sure when you're in the kitchen, stay safe at all times.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is why I did it over the sink. It did explode, but it didn't explode on me. You want to hold it a little further out from yourself. That way, like, if it does explode, you're not hitting your chest, your arms, or what have you.
Right. Yeah, the least thing we need right now is a burn.
Yeah. Alrighty. So in the bottom of y'all's mugs are like a little bit of just mini marshmallows. So I'm going to take the cocktail shaker, try to pop the top off.
Yeah.
Again, be careful about it. Ugh. There we go. There we go. Nice.
Here, let me do some of these.
Yeah.
Brandon, get in the shot.
Come on over, y'all. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pour this very carefully. So, if you guys want to fix up your hot chocolate, I have some peppermint here. I have some candy canes. B. And then in the fridge, I actually made some fresh whipped cream earlier. Just some heavy cream, some vanilla essence, and some powdered sugar. I like to use my Ninja Bullet for whipped cream. I find it a lot easier than just pulling out my big KitchenAid and like the bowl and stuff like that. As well as like, I don't want that arm workout, you know? So here we go. Peppermint, marshmallows, hot chocolate.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to.
All right, I'm just gonna be cameraman for a little bit, so bear
Full
with me.
disclosure,
All right?
I don't eat candy canes.
Okay.
So I have
you don't need it if you don't like candy canes.
Yeah, I might just do the other two.
Yeah.
Let's get some marshmallows.
So what's your story, man, behind not liking candy canes? What's the lure on that?
Yeah.
I tried it once and I didn't like it.
Perfect. That's it. That's it.
Story.
Man of many words. What about you? You mess with candy canes?
I love candy canes.
Do you love candy canes?
Christmas is my favorite. So like when it comes to like Christmas treats, I'm rare to find one that I don't enjoy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So there's a little bit of leftover chocolate in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use whatever's left over in here to make the next one.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So what I think I'll do for this next one is leave just the very top, like the little cap off the cocktail shaker, and hold the top with a towel just to make it a little safer so that maybe like won't explode for this next one. Add a little extra cocoa powder.
Okay.
And the chocolate mix, the hot chocolate mix that I'm using is the Target pumpkin spice one. I don't know if they sell this all year round, but they definitely sell the pumpkin spice coffee all year round. So definitely check your local Target, see if they have it. I just like the extra little dose of cinnamon without having to add cinnamon.
Yeah.
Alright, like maybe like a dab of the whipped cream or.
Yeah, whatever you want, B. Use as much whipped cream as you want.
Okay.
And then again, little pinch of salt will bring out the flavor of the chocolate. Sometimes I also add a little bit of coffee to my hot chocolate. I think that helps it come together too, as well as the salt.
Stir action on here.
Ready. So again, you're gonna shake over the sink, very careful. This time. All right, Jean, your turn. And you guys have to let me know how this turns out because, like, again, I don't know how this is gonna go. And now it's my turn. We're gonna go ahead and cut from here. Next time you see us, we'll be in the car. All right, guys. So we were in my car actually going to Cowboy Chicken, and I wanted to quickly talk about the hot chocolate. Gene downed his. So
Yeah, so clearly he liked his a lot.
Yep.
What do you think out of 10?
Well, I had about half a glass, so I gotta say 9. If it was a full glass, the full glass container, a 10 out of 10. I wanted more, not gonna lie. Go ahead, Brandon, what do you think?
Well, I'm still drinking mine. I'm savoring it as we make our way over to Cowboy Chicken. I'm gonna give that a solid 8. It was a very good. For one that you have like literally never made before, it was really good. Like, I don't quite know like what's stopping for me like a perfect 10 for me. Like, it was very good. I'm still very much enjoying it. I guess I don't know. I'd have to like mull it over to see what it's missing, but it's very good. It's a very good hot chocolate.
Yeah, and personally, I forgot to add more sugar to mine, so like it's not as sweet as I would like it, but like it's still a good even 7.5 for me. I will say, I don't think it makes a difference between shaking and stirring.
Damn, was I overly ambitious then with the 9?
No, I think you were right on. It's just that because like if I added more sugar to mine, it would have been a 9.
I mean, true, because we all did. We each have like our own mix.
Oh my god, dude.
You're not paying attention.
Fully not paying attention.
Yeah, that person's not paying attention.
We're talking about a car that, you know.
Yeah, a car like pulled right in front of us and you guys are pulling out. So
We're not
there
talking
you go.
about you guys, because you guys are paying attention.
Yeah, no,
Locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
But yeah, mine would have been a 9 if it was a little more sweeter. I think what I want to do for next time is add condensed milk, which like if you know anything about
condensed
dulce de
milk is
leche, it's already sweetened. So
Right.
I feel like adding condensed milk and then like just a little bit more sugar would be fine. I do like the substitution of powdered sugar versus like granulated sugar though. I find that a lot better of a sugar to use for this purpose because like it doesn't have like the graininess that granulated sugar has. Like you don't have to dissolve it in the milk, you know? So, yeah. Alrighty, so the topic for today, Beanin, you want to show off your outfit?
Yeah, so I will do my best. But I'm rocking the One Piece hat. And let me see if I can adjust it. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see it. It might be mirrored for you guys. I apologize. But I'm wearing an Alabasta shirt because our topic for today is actually going to be about One Piece. Yeah, for our debut episode, we're going to be talking about an anime that is very near to dear to all of our hearts. We're going to go into more details once we actually have dinner itself. But that's just a little preview for you guys. If you enjoy One Piece or you've never heard of One Piece, we're going to be talking about, stuff like our history with the franchise and how we got into it, stuff we love about it, and of course, the most important thing, since this is Fandom Foodies, how it relates to the food that we like and the food that we like to get. So look forward to that.
And I also want to say we will be getting into like mild spoiler territory, but I feel like One Piece has been on since literally the year 2000. So
actually older than that, 99.
Yeah, 99,
I
right?
do gotta say, if you guys haven't seen it and it's something that is spoiler worthy, still give it a shot. It's a great adventure. It's a good reason to have a conversation starter. There's a lot of positive things. And it can influence your life in a positive way, because it is about friendship.
And I do want to point this out real quick. Speaking for me personally, we'll go more into the nitty gritty of One Piece once we're actually sitting down and eating and everything. But I just want to say this much. Obviously, One Piece does have a reputation of being very long. It's a very long story. Obviously, again, we said it's been going on since 99 and it's still going. But it is 100% worth it. I will say for me personally, I watch the anime very casually. The way I stay caught up is the manga. It's just a faster way to catch up into the story and get all the story beats. And as someone that now reads the manga week to week, it's in a really good place right now. Like Gene can tell you, me and him read the most recent chapter, as of this recording, the most recent chapter, which came out about 2 weeks ago. Yep. And I was reading that mess in the break room, bro. I almost cried, bro. Like that like just in terms of emotional impact, that might have been chapter of the year. Just like. Because it showed off something that I don't want to say it's been set up for the longest period of time. Maybe you could argue it has been, but like it's just such a huge emotional payout if you've been a longtime fan of One Piece, and that's just the joy of it being as long as it is. It's long, but it's not unnecessarily long. Use the time it needs to tell the story. It has to. And I think that's
too like fillery, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the anime has a little bit of filler, but even that's not too bad if I'm being perfectly honest. But the manga, I would say very rarely gets into stuff like, man, you could have cut this. Like usually, when you're seeing something, it feels like the time is earned, and that's I think an important distinction to be making.
And in reference to what Brandon was talking about in terms of that, quote unquote events that we read last chapters of this recording. It was something that was in the making for a while. We didn't even think we would ever get this far, to be honest.
Sure.
Because of the complexity of the characters and how well the story's developed. But, it was something that when it hit, like, you just knew. You just knew. All those years of fulfillment of, man, it all led to this moment. Definitely worth it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, what I want to get into right now while we're driving, without getting too much fully into the topic, is our favorite characters in One Piece and why. I have a mix of two. Chopper, I think, is me in animal form, and Robin, I enjoy her as a character and her character development. I think internally, I'm Robin. Externally, I'm Chopper. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Alrighty, Brandon.
Real quick, just for context, obviously me and Gene are not gonna go into spoilers about this chapter we just read. However, just to give you all context of what we're talking about, it involved Robin heavily. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Again, this is being recorded in like late December, so if y'all willing to do that math, there you go. But yeah, to answer the question about my favorite character, man, I go back and forth honestly, but I think it's pretty similar for both me and myself and Gene. Sanji, bro. Sanji. Being a Sanji fan in One Piece is like watching the stock market. Because, like, there are rises and there are dips in being a Sanji fan. And I think that's the mark of a real Sanji fan, if I'm being real with y'all.
Fully like him.
That, but also, like, understanding that there are gonna be rises and dips with the characters, you gotta be there for him when he's going through all that, you know? If you're only, like, there's a lot of people out there, I see all y'all, that are like, oh yeah, Sanji's the best, when he's out here doing his best moments, and then as soon as he goes down, it's like, man, F Sanji, bro. It's like, I see all
I'm
y'all.
gonna say, keep holding your Sanji stocks, all right?
That's
Keep
what I'm saying.
holding them.
Sanji stocks rise and they drop. It's watching the stock market, man. Like,
hold on to him. Don't let him go. I'm telling you, man. Diamond hands. He got diamond hands.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Sanji is number one for me. Close second though is Usopp, because I just want to say that Usopp
Hold on. You said Sanji's number one for you?
That's what I said, bro.
What?
Yeah, bro.
A dispute.
Because I thought, if I recall, weren't you like, you know, Usopp all the way? With the Usopp stocks, what changed your mind?
I love Usopp, bro. But as I was saying before, it constantly changes, bro.
Okay.
But Sanji never leaves the top two, though. That's the one thing I will say.
Okay.
So like, I ain't one of those fake Sanji. Like, he's always either one or two, never below, never below.
I was like, wait a minute, you know.
I feel like Robin and Chopper are tied number one for me. Brooke and Sanji are tied number two.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's solid. But yeah, like, Usopp is the solid second. And again, depending on the day, he could be number one. But I love Usopp because, like, of everyone in the Straw Hat crew, he's the most normal. And that makes...
That's what Jose said.
And like, that gives him a certain human quality that you won't get as much from the other Straw Hats. Like, you know... He's dealing with these people that have like these really, they have these like superpowers, you know, with the devil fruits that have to give them their abilities.
Outside of Nami, most of the time, which like, there's some argument for me personally as to whether Nami is like fully normal or has some innate ability. You know what I mean? Because like the fact that I don't know if the guys in the crew let Nami beat them up or not, but like she can beat them all up.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, she's never ate a devil fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's arguments as to whether or not Luffy could beat Goku. Like, that's crazy. that Nami could beat him up and Straw Hat Luffy could beat Goku. That means Nami, by proxy, could beat Goku, right?
See, one thing I am pissed off about with Nami is, like, you know, she's a thief, right?
Yeah.
When's the last thing she stole something?
Yeah, they haven't done that.
Right.
They haven't done her thief thing as much.
I'm in Whole Cake right now, so I'm in like the year of Sanji, as they call it.
Yeah.
And you're right. She hasn't like stolen
Yeah,
anything
she hasn't stole shit. Like,
Cat burglar Nami.
Like, I think the last time that I want to say she stole something in Thriller Bark, but the one that I vividly remember,
Water 7.
even before Water 7, like when they were on Long Ring Long Land, during that tournament where they were doing the boat stuff, and the referee was about to blow the whistle. He didn't have the whistle because Nami stole it from him, so he wasn't able to blow the whistle on the illegal play or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just not making it obvious or not. You know what I mean? Because like a whistle is a little thing to steal. You know, like I don't know if they're just not saying the quiet part out loud or what it is, but I can't remember the last time that Nami was... I know that the running gag for Nami is that, like, whenever she sees money, period, like when the Straw Hats get paid from doing whatever they're doing, that, like, you know, that's
another thing. That's another gripe, bro. When the last time they get paid? when they steal some shit. When they do some pirating shit. When was the last time?
That's the running gag of that show, though, is that, like, they are pirates, but they get enough money to make sure they survive their adventures on the sea. Right. But they are now out here collecting fortunes, and if they do, they don't have it very long. I remember at the end of Skypiea, they were loaded with gold, but that all went to like building their ship. Yeah. Like, and before that, it got stolen.
Yeah. Like it's literally like they're it's like watching a series about Jack Sparrow because they're the worst pirates. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. He's part of the worst generation, so there you go. But yeah, that's so. Has everyone answered? Like, as far as your favorite One Piece character, I think
Sanji's always been there since day one for me. Like, you know, like that's the stock I'm gonna hold. You know, my Sanji stocks are like Bitcoin right now.
Oh my god!
So that's what I'm saying. Like, as of this video, because you never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Who's your number 2, Gene?
My number 2. That is a good one. I've never gone past the one. If I had to pick a solid number 2, man, it had to be... I'm gonna say Luffy.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I think personality wise, you're more like Brooke to me.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's having known you for such a long time.
Yes.
Like you know a good gag when you see one, but you also know when it's a good time to be serious.
True. I appreciate that then. Yeah, like I mean, and Brooke does need time to shine. You know.
I love Brooke. He's
You know,
a solid 3.
when the last time you played music? Like that's what I'm saying. Like all these things are happening. And
He
it's
always
like,
plays music at the end of the arc. What you
but
mean?
like the core values of the characters that we've known for so long, they've stopped doing. You know. But
Yeah.
obviously, you know, big shit's happening
Yeah.
as of the recording of this video, so it's understandable.
Yeah, sometimes it's in favor of the story to like
Correct.
switch up the characters for a little while because like Sanji, from what I'm seeing in Whole Cake so far, Sanji's not been himself for the entire Whole Cake, but it's in favor of the story that we're following
You don't
up
even
to
know
that
half
point.
of it about him not being himself.
Yeah. Well, no, I've seen up to the point where like
Brandon knows.
I've seen up to the point where like his mom dies.
She's getting there.
Yeah.
She's getting there.
Just hold on to your stocks, Allie. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I do love Sanji. That's not to say he's at the bottom. None of them are what I can say is at the bottom of my list. The bottom of my list is the Gotti now. Hate him. Hate him so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rubro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking Slim Shady head ass.
Who would
Eminem.
who would be your lowest on like the Straw Hats?
The lowest would probably be Zoro.
Damn, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
answer. Okay.
But it's because like I love Frankie so much. Like I think he's so funny. I think he provides like such like needed comic relief from like some of the heavier topics of the show. Because that whole thing with God, what was his name? Doflamingo arc.
Oh, with Senior Pink?
Yeah, Senior Pink.
He's so hard boiled.
Yeah. That whole thing with him, like that was a horrifying story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the whole time Frankie's like, maybe we'll grab a drink sometime. Like it's just stupid.
I love that fight so much.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
His whole thing with Senior Pink has got to be like one of the most popular underlings ever. Like, I truly don't think he was ever even meant to get a backstory. I think he just somehow became so popular that Oda had to write him one.
Yeah. I will say, Jose told me one time that Oda, for every single character he puts in his series, already has a backstory in mind, even if he doesn't write it out for the manga or the anime.
I can believe that.
That's how fully fleshed out the characters are, and I think that's what makes them the characters so fascinating, and why it's so hard to pick like a top 5 or whatever as far as characters go, or a bottom 5, is because like there truly is no bad character in One Piece.
For sure, for
You
sure.
know, they all contribute something to the story.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, so I think that about wraps it up for this part of it, but we're gonna go ahead and pick it up again when we're eating dinner. Ready, guys?
Yes, let's do it.
Which one are you trying?
So, I was gonna just do some old-fashioned lemonade, but like cucumber jalapeno lemonade, I mean, I gotta try it for the content.
Yeah.
So here we go.
I did the strawberry lemonade one, but I haven't tasted it yet.
I'm
I
filling
kinda-
this up, I'm locking it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try the cucumber jalapeno, but I'm so scared.
Well, I'm about to be the taste tester.
Yeah. All right. So
Brandon will bring the hype.
yeah, we are so. I have my main course. Gene has his main course. Brandon doesn't yet. So we're gonna go ahead and try the wings first. So we got the wings with buffalo and barbecue on the side. It comes with celery. Oh, here you go. babe. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much. Right. So the buffalo. I'm a buffalo girly. Like everywhere there's buffalo available, I'm getting a buffalo. You know. And then this one's barbecue. What immediately strikes me about the barbecue sauce is it's a little bit looser, like kind of thick barbecue sauce. Okay, so let's go ahead and try the wings first.
Yep, sure. With the buffalo first, you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the buffalo first.
Let's just all do the buffalo first.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll each do one buffalo. Grab one. Yeah.
Oh, is that fried okra?
It is fried okra.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, let me just dab here. There we go.
That's a good buffalo sauce. It's like a Hooters style, like it's very vinegary.
Yeah, solid.
I really like it. And then I'm gonna try the barbecue. Oh.
Oh, what's up?
I hate to compare it to this, but you know how like fast food barbecue sauce is like a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy?
Yeah.
That. Very that.
Okay.
But I like it. It's good.
The buffalo's not bad.
Yeah.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you got it on the side.
Yeah. I feel like this stout, the wing is doused in the buffalo would have been a little much without like a ranch dressing or something, you know?
Agreed.
Okay.
So, real quick, I just want to mention what I am currently drinking because it's kind of unique. So, it is a cucumber jalapeno lemonade.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing it mostly for the content, but it is good. It is good. It is good. You definitely taste the cucumber and the lemonade mixed in. The jalapeno, not so much, but it does give the drink just a very slight little kick.
Yeah.
Like nothing like my tongue is burning. Like it's very, the sweet and spicy flavors are balancing themselves very well.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. I actually really am.
I'm drinking the strawberry lemonade. I noticed on the ingredients list there is acai in this, and now that I know there is in it, I can kind of taste a little bit in the background, like it adds an extra layer of sweetness. But let's go ahead and talk about the food we got real quick.
Sure.
I got the quarter white rotisserie. Like I said before, if I see a rotisserie, I'm gonna eat it. And so I chose sweet potato and mashed potatoes and gravy as my side. We love a 2-carb girly. B, what did you get?
So, got myself a side of fried okra, and then the actual sandwich himself is a Laredo sandwich, which is, if I remember correctly from when I read it on the menu, it's like rotisserie chicken with like guacamole and cheese in one like little package there. So I'm looking forward to giving this a try. Do what you get.
Got a Durango rice bowl. Chicken breast, avocado cream on the top, tomatoes, corn, onions, Spanish rice, stuff like that. You know? It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, so this comes with 2 sides and a roll. I love a good Parker House roll. That's definitely what this is. Like it has that nice brown, like slightly crispy top. So yeah.
I am now trying the wing myself with the barbecue sauce. See what Allie is talking about here.
The barbecue's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Yeah. What you said is accurate.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk One Piece. So when did you first get into the series, Kate?
So for me, my getting into One Piece is interesting because, like a lot of maybe kids in my generation, I started with the 4Kids dub of One Piece back when it was on 4Kids TV or Foxbox, whatever it was called at the time. That's how I got into it. I knew that there was a manga in the Shonen Jump Weekly that I used to get subscribed to, that I was used to be subscribed to, but I never really read it, so this was kind of like my first gateway into the series. And you know, as a kid who just kind of didn't know better, I really enjoyed it for what it was, not realizing how much was getting cut and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And I watched it all the way up into Alabasta, which is where it ended. And then Toonami kind of picked up the torch and was doing the Funimation dub following that. And I watched that for a minute until it got canceled from Funimation. Then I was just not watching One Piece for a while at all, or consuming any kind of One Piece media. And then when Toonami came back as part of its current Adult Swim run, in like, it came back in 2012, but then in 2015 is when they started airing it again. And they started from Long Ring, which is episode 207. And they got up until Thriller Bark, which was about 2 years before it got canceled again. So I was just off One Piece for like the longest time, and I was sad because I knew right after Thriller Bark is when it gets really good. It gets into the whole Summit War saga for those of y'all who know a little bit about that. But yeah, I was just kind of off it for a while, and then COVID was coming down, and I said, you know what, I got a lot of time. I'm just gonna read this manga just so I can get caught up in the story. And I took a break here and there during that long period of time that I was furloughed, but eventually I did catch up, like right in the middle of the Wano arc. So that's kind of my run through of One Piece. I still watch the anime casually from time to time. Like right now, I'm doing a very casual watch of Dressrosa. I've never watched it, but I've read it obviously. And I'm just gonna, kind of make Egghead. I'm also watching a little bit of Egghead as well on the side. But yeah, it's when it comes to the anime, I'm very casual, but I am caught up on the manga. That was my long journey.
So for me, it's pretty much the same as what Brandon was talking about, but I started the manga a little bit earlier than these guys. But I was a real big advocate for the manga at the time, and I didn't know that the show was so far ahead compared to the dub, So when I found out that there was a possibility to be able to watch it, that's what I did. Got ahead of these guys and was like, guys, you guys need to watch it. Without spoiling anything, I was like, oh, like can't wait for this arc. Like this is gonna get crazy. So I started watching the dub and stuff like that, and I at the time I didn't understand how impactful it was gonna be.
Right.
Because like Brandon said, you watch it because you enjoyed it, but you didn't know like how big of a meaning it had when it comes to like friendship and like loyalty and stuff like that, and it really like resonates now. 20 years later, when you're a full-grown adult, when you're showing it to your own kids, family members, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But that's it. It's just been something that's been impactful, and it's brought friendships together.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I will say, on a full disclosure, y'all told me to watch One Piece way before I did. Like years before I did. You know what I mean? What actually happened with me was that the live action came out, and the guy that I'm dating, going for now over 2 years, was like, okay, I know your friends want you to watch One Piece. What we'll do is we'll watch the live action, and if you cry at the end of the live action, then we'll watch the anime, right?
That's a good test. That's a good test.
And what I like about I actually encourage people who are like getting into One Piece who don't want to watch it for that length of time is to watch the first season of the live action and jump in on the second season of the anime, because it does cut out a lot of like unnecessary stuff. And like with any animated series, I feel like the first season is a test of like the animators, the writing and whatnot. And the animation is a little admittedly rough to watch in the beginning, in the first season, I think, and it cuts out a lot.
However, that remake is coming. So if you did want to watch it from the beginning, how the style of animation is now, you totally can. And pardon the loud noise, but it was pretty noisy indoors, and out here they're having a Christmas party, so
Yeah.
we had no choice but to just kind of come out here and do our thing, all right?
Yeah. But after the live action, you two know how the live action ends. The live action is in its full length on Netflix now, and they're coming out with season 2. So definitely watch it if you can. But the end of the live action ends with that story with Nami, and that just broke my little heart.
Yeah.
So like, as it will most people, it is a very like, I feel like the story with Nami is a very like relatable story. You know what I mean? Like Nami's not like, the beginning of her story is not like the other Straw Hats. Like she doesn't fall into an ability. You know what I mean? She is a little bit of a damsel in distress, but not so much that like she can't handle herself like other girls in media are portrayed. You know what I mean? And so that really impacted me. And here I am. What, like 800 episodes later, it's whole cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around there. Around there.
And as this video, there's like over 1,000 episodes, so
Currently, yes. Currently over 1,000. And counting. Anytime soon.
Yeah.
I will say as well, going to Allie's point about Nami, is that it's exactly what you said. She does occasionally get into situations where she needs to be rescued. All of them do, quite frankly. But Nami has, over the course of the anime, consistently proved herself to be one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable member of the crew, because what she likes up for in martial prowess, she makes up for in the fact that she literally is the only one who knows how to navigate properly and really well.
Yeah.
So they would literally not be able to continue their adventure without her. It's and that's something I think people need to remember about One Piece, is that there's a lot of fights, and there's a lot of good fights.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not like Dragon Ball, where it's a martial arts anime where you being the strongest is what matters the most. No, it's about getting to where you need to go. It's an adventure anime.
It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you're able to go at that journey at all points of time. And Nami ensures that they do that. And she can't hold herself in well enough in a fight with her Clementine batons and all that stuff. And one other thing I wanted to touch on as well is, you mentioned this in the live action. That one change that I do like that they made is that they made it so they gave her a little more fights. Up until the final arc that the live action season 1 covers,
I did notice that.
she's boxing. She's like the fight against Accent Morgan. That was originally just a Luffy solo fight.
True.
They made it in the live action that it was Luffy, Zoro, and Nami taking him down.
Right.
And that's a good change that I really enjoyed. That they all had a part to play. It was very good in establishing them as a crew, I think, because One Piece traditionally they do a lot of solo fights. So to have them come together in that way to take down this common enemy, I think was a really solid change.
Right.
As showing their strength as a crew,
What do you guys like most about the beginning days of One Piece as much as the live action covers?
As far as what the live action covers
Like the
specifically?
East Blue arc, yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, my immediate answer is how well they developed the story in such a short amount of time compared to how the anime was. Because keep in mind, One Piece had 8 episodes, 10 episodes?
Yeah, the live action was only 8 episodes,
yeah.
and they covered all the way up until episode 40 something in the anime.
And they wove it well enough to where each person got time to shine. Each
Yeah.
person had their origin, and we saw how they came together to be a crew right now, compared to the anime or manga, each character did get a little bit more development, I'm not gonna lie, but you also do have to remember that with the live action, with the budgeting and stuff like that, you can only do so much.
You know, I did so much, exactly. And I think what I dislike most about TV shows, especially on streaming services nowadays, is they only give you 8 to 10 episodes a season, and they're waiting 2 years for the next one. You know what I mean? I think that's what I dislike most. But I do appreciate the amount of thought and effort put into the live action. Now, looking back on it, now that I've seen the entire East Blue and onwards, the thought that's put into everything from like the scenery and the story to like the handpicking of the live action actors, like the pick for Sanji is perfect. Taz Skylar is amazing. He takes that role so incredibly seriously, not just like the martial arts part of it, but like the action, the fact that Sanji loves cooking. Yeah. He took cooking classes and took it seriously, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Makenyu was also really good at Zoro. Love him. Like Makenyu, for those who are not familiar, did a lot of like he's a Japanese actor. Like he was based in Japan, and I think only recently has started to branch out into more Western productions as well, where he learned very fluent English to do so. But he's well known as doing a lot of different, ironically enough, anime adaptations, live action, but in Japan. I want to say in the Rurouni Kenshin adaptation, I want to say he was Saito, for those who are familiar with that series. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, but I know he was in Kenshin, and I want to say he was... Okay, so for sure he was in Kenshin, I want to say it was Saito, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I'll pick up the torch here. One of the things that I really liked about the live action adaptation is when they made changes, I feel like that they were smart changes. Appropriate changes. Like they didn't change shit for the sake of changing it. They really like the maker, the showrunner of this, huge One Piece fan. So if he changed anything, it was in service of the story.
And real quick, I do want to say too that Oda had 100% input in doing this as well.
That too.
Like the showrunner wouldn't do anything without Oda's approval.
Right. So any change that was made was Oda was cool with it, basically. Some minor stuff, like for example, ensuring the runtime was appropriate. Like Don Krieg, main villain of the Baratier arc, gone in like a second in the live action version. But to speak on a more meaningful change, there was the expanded plot line of Kobe and Helmeppo in there. Now that was based on like a cover story that the manga did, and like 2 episodes that the anime did.
Yeah.
But they expanded that into an entire secondary subplot for the Netflix series to really make you care about this character that's basically started this journey with Luffy. He didn't obviously join Luffy's crew.
Yeah, but he starts out. They almost mirror each other. Luffy's story and Kobe's story. I think.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
And I think it makes you care about Kobe in the long run much more than if they just didn't touch on it at all.
Yeah, and so you care a lot more about the character, and also I love that as a consequence of them having this greater focus on Kobe, you got the introduction of the character Garp significantly earlier than you do in the manga and anime, and I think that's a pretty cool change.
I do want to touch on something that I think is interesting about Kobe and the actor that plays him. The actor that plays Kobe is trans, and so his body's going to change over time, almost at the same rate that Kobe's changes in the anime.
True.
Because the next time you see Kobe, he's grown up, and like they mention it during the show, and I think that's really cool and really thoughtful of Oda to pick someone who's like not a child at the beginning, but is going to almost develop into who they're supposed to be at the same time that Kobe is. I think that's really cool. I don't know another creator that would have thought to do that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is touching a little bit on something that we know from the casting of season 1 and season 2. The actress that plays Alvida, clearly a woman very committed to the role, because she was, much like Alvida was in the anime and manga, heavyset woman, but she takes a devil fruit called I think it's called it's the slip fruit, right? Yeah, and then as a result slims down significantly. So a lot of people are asking the question, so what are they going to do with Alvida? Well, the simple answer is the actress just locked in and just slammed up for the role to continue playing Alvida, and I have nothing but respect for her for committing that hard into the role.
I think the part that most people miss is that she had lost weight to begin with, and then gained weight to play Alvida in the first place. And so like, for me, knowing what I know about, I just recently lost a whole bunch of weight. I lost 40 pounds. And so like, thank you. But like, that does kind of mess with you a little bit internally, and your mental state a little bit. I want to give the most kudos to her for like taking care of her mental health and ensuring that she's okay, as okay internally as she can be while going through that process too. Because even like the hardest actors who like bulk up for a role, like we look at people like Christian Bale who played Batman, and like Chris Hemsworth who played Thor, and like The Rock when he's playing a role, any role at all, you know what I mean? And like what they put their bodies through. And mostly men are centered in that conversation, but nobody talks about the back and forth that women go through for a role. Because like if you look back at an actress like Renee Zellweger, who like people called her fat in Bridget Jones's Diary, and she weighed less than me. Like so like I feel like a lot of kudos needs to be given to the actress that plays Alvida for her commitment to the role, not just in gaining the weight to play the initial character in the story, but to then go back and then be able to slim down for Alvida later in the story too. Yeah, like she needs the same amount of kudos for both, because both are equally hard. I like how the song wrapped up when I hit it that way.
Yeah, you were saying your point, and it was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And it's like done. Just drop it.
Yeah. So the next thing that I wanted to get into was where do you guys see, like, do you think that Netflix is gonna fully commit to going the full 1,000 episodes, or maybe less, because they do cut out like some less important parts of the story? Do we see them going as far as the anime does?
It's tough to say. It's tough to say, because I know Oda himself is only gonna be the forefront of a couple seasons, and then from there up to the showrunner.
Yeah. And like again, I want to make it absolutely clear that like I have all the faith in the showrunner in the world, because he is such like a faithful fan. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to put him down, because like I don't think he'll do a bad job at it if he's handed the reins. You know?
He won't, but like, and also at the speed that they gotta do this is crucial too, considering what season 1 came out 2 years ago now, right? Yeah. Almost 3.
Yeah.
We're going to season 2. We're still like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how, and got to kind of figure out like, hey, how fast can these guys pump out the episodes while also keeping good quality? And it depends on how well Oda wants to continue doing that too. You know, being the I'm gonna say forerunner. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping so, but that's at least 20 plus seasons.
Yeah. Which, like, they've done it before. For me, Netflix be doing Netflix stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, most of the time when it comes to, like, a lot of series, no matter how beloved it is, a lot of stuff gets canceled before it's done, you know? So, like, I don't want it to happen, but, like, I'm being kind of realistic of how far is this gonna go, you know what I mean?
Right, of course.
But this next season, being season 2, heading into Little Garden and Drum Island, do you think we'll at least touch Alabasta to the point where we get Ace, or is it going to be like no?
No. Ace season 3.
Yeah.
For sure.
I actually disagree with that.
Really?
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Well, I partially disagree. Actually, I just got to clarify. I think he might be a stinger, similar to how Smoker was. But I also want to eliminate the possibility because with season 1, they changed things significantly by adding in Garp significantly earlier than he was actually meant to do. And we already know this is not going to be a direct adaptation.
Right.
So, to me, at least,
which is not a bad thing about the live action One Piece. Like,
yeah.
I actually kind of like that.
To me, it's not impossible that they could sneak in Ace early. But that would assume that they have already casted Ace, which...
I know who I want it to be.
Are we on the same page? Tell me, so who do you want it to be?
Shalom Mariduena
Correct.
from Cobra Kai.
Correct. We're all, I agree. Yep,
To me, him in real life looks exactly how I think Ace would look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Considering the fact that the actor who plays Luffy is Mexican, I feel like the actor who plays Ace, even though Luffy and Ace aren't blood brothers, they look alike. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's on purpose. I feel like they should both be of Mexican descent.
Yeah. At least make it, well, that would, I think for the story, that would at least make it believable.
Yeah.
Because, like, because for new viewers, that would be like a twist that they are quote blood brothers. But if they're at least of the same nationality, it's a little easier for that that misdirection to stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I really like how they've been collabing together, right?
Thank you for saying that, because that's making me think that he already got it, and they're just keeping it secret. You guys have to understand like how Oda thinks, you know. Like, this is a man that's like, this is a general storytelling. You know
3 steps ahead.
Yeah, he's thinking 3 steps ahead. He's already thinking up to season 6, for sure, 100%. So keep in mind, with that collaboration, he was already wearing a red and orange gi.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know, so I gotta go back and watch it.
And I'm like, the flames? Like, this is Ace right here. You know?
I remember, I think I texted you guys before our fist went. Like,
so, you know, it would make sense, but here's my argument for you guys. I feel like they're already stacked on characters, right? If they're gonna bring in Ace, it's gonna be at the very end of the season 2. Like, just maybe like a post credit or something, you know, they'll show him real quick.
A post credit, or they're gonna show him coming down on the boat, and then they're gonna cut.
And then done. And then season 3, immediately we'll start with him. Because keep in mind, you know, you got Crocodile now.
Yeah.
You got Vivi. And Robin.
Yeah.
Well,
It's all Sunday.
You know, it's all Sunday right now.
Do you guys have a dream cast for Bon Clay? Because I do.
I can tell you my Blackbeard one. Can you explain this? Go ahead. He knows who I want.
If y'all familiar with the YouTuber Long Beach Griffey, this man looks so much like him, and
He has the gap in like the tooth.
Which Blackbeard has. I just need to hear the Z ha ha, and if he's good, I'll be like, all right, Gene, I'm on board. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Bon Clay, if you're not familiar with the character, is canonically a drag queen, and there are drag queens throughout the story. So I think it's only right to have a drag queen play Bon Clay, and there are enough drag queens that are also in acting to pick a drag queen for that role.
Yep.
I think the one to play Bon Clay should be Sasha Velour. She's a bald queen, so like she already has like the facial structure for it and everything. She looks to me like Bon Clay. And then further down the road, Ivankov should be Jinx Monsoon.
Okay.
And I'll flash a picture of them on screen now so that you guys can see them. But Jinx Monsoon was recently in the most recent seasons of Doctor Who. Like acting opposite like Neil Patrick Harris and Gigi Gaba and all this stuff. She's so cool. And she's from Orlando. So I feel like that'd be sick.
Okay.
Also, Emily, who plays Nami in the live action, is also from Orlando. She worked with Disney.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. She's coming up, by the way. I don't know if any of y'all watched the anime Delicious in Dungeon, which we gotta talk about some more of that. If this is Fandom Foodies.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Good service here, by the way. For the viewers, they're checking in on us. That's nice. Anyway, but yeah, this is Fandom Foodies. There's no way we can not do an episode that does not talk about Delicious in Dungeon and Food Wars. Of course, we gotta get on that at some point. But all that aside, yeah, in the dub of Delicious in Dungeon, Emily Blunt plays the lead. Marcel, that's her name. Yeah, she plays in the dub. She plays Marcel. So I thought that was pretty cool that she has gone from playing a live action character in anime to actually dubbing an anime character, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think all of the actors that they chose to play, again, very thoughtful. Right on down to Jacob Romero playing Usopp. We met him at MegaCon. We saw him in a panel, and he is. You can tell he's just so happy to be there. You know, like he's so grateful, and I love that about him. And it's, to me, that's very Usopp. Like it's very like just grateful to be included. You know what I mean?
Mention the fact that these guys actually saw a couple more characters in the panel.
We saw Buggy, Jeff Ward.
We saw Jeff Ward, and then it was the dub actors for Luffy and Nami. Luffy and Nami, right?
Yeah.
And I think what's so interesting about the voice actor for Luffy, Colin Quickenbeer, is that like she has to prepare for Luffy so much so that it almost damages her voice. Yeah.
These voice actors are real, especially the anime ones. They gotta do some intense stuff.
Yeah.
No joke.
And like for all of you aspiring voice actors out there, I think she is like a master class on how to voice act. Like it's so interesting watching her, knowing that that's what she does to voice this one character. You know what I mean? So, and also I want to say like a big thank you to the voice actor in the Japanese dub of One Piece for Frankie. Like he just retired, and like it's been 20 years for him doing just Frankie and also Bon Clay, but like specifically doing these two characters that are so big in the series that like. If Frankie wasn't there, One Piece wouldn't be the same. You know what I mean?
I've got a question for you guys, and this is me jumping ahead a little bit though. But like, who the hell is gonna play Frankie in like the live action movies? You gotta like really like.
Oh, I have a thought for this. Okay. So I've already told them about this, but my friend Steve, who I know from work, looks like Frankie. But bald. He looks like Frankie, but bald.
Okay.
He could either.
Frankie wears wigs though. Well, not wigs per se, but
he changes his hair.
He changes hair, yeah.
He looks like the post-time skip bald version of Frankie. That's what he looks like. And then he also, to me, Steve could go either way in playing either Whitebeard or Frankie. That's what he looks like.
Okay.
In that one of his roles looks like Whitebeard, and then one of his roles looks like Frankie. And I'll show you guys later because like I'm not gonna show this on camera and like expose Steve. But like he was just recently in 2 movies. He was in Red One with Chris Evans and The Rock.
Wait, what? Whoa, what? Who do you play?
So he was in a few scenes. The animal scene, the ape that gets slapped across the room, that's Steve.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
at the end when they're like in Hawaii, Steve is the guy in the white button-up shirt. He gets a lot of face time in that movie, and he was also in Bad Boys, the most recent one.
Wow.
So Steve is. I want him to play Red One so bad. And Steve, if you see this, if you get that role of playing Frankie or Whitebeard for that matter, I better get a cameo. I will get on the first plane to South Africa. Get a cameo in One Piece.
Center of Cape Town.
And to be honest, like, it was a good place where they're filming. Because it brings a lot of exposure out there.
And like it's very flexible in like location because most parts of One Piece look very vaguely Caribbean.
Correct.
except for the ones that are supposed to be like a certain country, like Germany and like all these other things that are supposed to look like Germany and Spain and Venice. But like for the most part, South Africa is so flexible to like the backgrounds and the locations that One Piece is really famous for. Like I'm pretty sure they turned Cape Town into Little Town.
Yep. Basically, yeah.
For the set
literally.
pieces when you look them up, like yeah.
Quite literally.
Listen, man. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with the live action, and that's what I'm liking. Like they're taking their time for the craft. Doesn't matter how many years they'll pump it out, but as long as they do it correctly, that's all that matters.
Do you guys think of the One Piece and the anime as two separate entities, or do you think of them as like the same? Seeing as like they changed a little bit for the live action.
I mean, they're definitely their own separate universes, but at the clearly there's too many changes for it to be the same, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's all One Piece. You know, it's retaining.
It's retaining the message and the story.
The message, the story, the soul of One Piece. The characters are who they are, just set in slightly different settings. Whether you're watching the live action or the anime, you're getting the core story of One Piece. You're getting what that story is supposed to represent. And that's really, I think, the best thing you could ask for in any kind of adaptation from one thing to another. That even if the story is not, one-to-one, which it shouldn't be if it's an adaptation in the first place, that it's at least retaining what the soul of that story is.
Right.
And just... An adaptation to me should be doing two things. It should be not only accessible to new fans who have never seen the original thing that it's based off, but it also has to be something there for the veterans as well. If they're watching the same story, they're not going to really stay invested. So you got to have that incentive to make them want to see how things that they know are changed, but do it in a good way. Like you don't want Luffy acting way out of character,
right.
For example. You want him to be who he is, but just handle things, maybe slightly different depending on the
But
situation.
this also gives Oda, and here's another perspective for you guys. This gives Oda a second chance to do like a what if they really wanted to, right?
Sure.
So with the live action, if they felt like, hey, maybe I don't know, something could have happened to Luffy sooner. And
it did. With Garp, the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think to me, if they were to make Marineford happen sooner, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of character development in the 2-year time script. It's quite literally a time skip for a reason, where the Straw Hats are learning how to really come into their powers. And you know what I mean? I feel like if they were to do Marineford sooner, I feel like that would keep a lot of people's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
But with that, I kind of want to wrap up with this final, like, really meaningful question. What does One Piece mean to you? And also, two-pronged question. When you're thinking about your own life in relation to One Piece, do you find it super relatable? Do you see yourself in the story, and how?
So, you want me to start?
Go first.
So, say the first part of the question again, real quick.
What does One Piece mean to you?
For me, honestly, it's just the adventures that you can have, like, with friends, and the kind of world building that you can do on your own life, right? So, you're starting off with someone that believes in a dream, right? And from there, the way that he expresses himself with attitude, with charisma, with honesty, bounces off of the other characters, and they want to share that same dream. So with me, how it affects me is the core group of friends that we have. We all share the same dream of, wanting to be with each other for the entire rest of our lives, as friends, right? We've all known each other 10 years, 15, 20 years plus now, and it's just nice to know that, like, similar to a crew, I can tell Brandon to, like, do something and he'll do it, and vice versa, without question. I can tell you, like, hey, Allie, like, can you handle this for me? You'll do it as well, and vice versa, That's just the kind of relationship that we've been able to build, and, One Piece is something that we can bond over, as experiences. So for me, it's just helped me really kind of be a navigation, no pun intended, but like a navigation towards like how to properly have like a friendship.
Yeah. I think that everyone should be a Luffy in their own way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? What One Piece means to me as a series is to just not necessarily to practice reckless optimism. I think is a good phrase. I heard that somewhere, and I think it's a good philosophy to have to practice reckless optimism. You don't want to be toxically positive to the point where you're telling people to be positive no matter what. That's not real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think along the way, a lot of the Straw Hats have their optimism tested. Right up until when they lose Sanji for a time.
Sure.
Right before Whole Cake. You know what I mean? So I think everyone can see themselves and get something valuable from each of the Straw Hats.
Yeah, of
and
course.
and even some of the side characters like Bankai and like Ivankov. I feel like a very valuable lesson could be gathered from the story of One Piece, and not even in like one arc or one episode or one season, the whole thing.
Yeah. One Piece to me is, at the end of the day, it's an adventure, and it has gone as long as it has because I think the focus is the journey and not the destination. And the journey has to be fun, and that's what One Piece is. But I think that should also apply to your real life as well. Like, at some point, we're all going to reach our destination, right? But it's about how we spend our time before we get there.
And the people we bring with us.
Exactly. You want to be with people that are there for you year down, but it can also uplift you as well. You all, like Gene said, you all going for the same dream of happiness and freedom. That's a big theme of One Piece, is being free to make the choices you want. You know, you have the dichotomy between the character Luffy and the character Blackbeard. They both value freedom, but they do it in different ways. Luffy wants to be free, and he wants others around him to be free. Blackbeard wants freedom for himself, even at the cost of taking away others' freedom, and that's where they differ in that way. And so there's good life lessons there as well, that sometimes even if you and another person have the same goals or ideals, depending on how you go about it can be different and can change who you are as a person. So you get life lessons from that. And that's what I would say it applies to me as well, that it's an excuse for you to see this adventure. How can you make your own adventure, your own life's adventure that much better in your own special way? Making sure you're surrounding yourself with people that you trust, because Luffy trusts every single person in his crew.
Like off rip.
Right, off rip.
Yeah.
Like, Robin was doing some shady stuff during Water 7, and he never lost faith in her one night, like not even once. He never lost faith in Nami when she stole his ship. Like his crew tests him sometimes, and he always trust him because he's a good judge of character in that way. Well, usually, but that's another story. But yeah, I would say what One Piece means to me is just remembering that you have to have fun with life while you have it. You have to surround yourself with people that you really like, and at the end of the day, never stop having fun in your life, because you have to. If you lose sight of that, then life loses its meaning. If you're not having fun, like, there has to be goals, of course, but make sure you're enjoying the process of it. Don't just focus on struggle until you get the goal. Like, find ways to find joy in life, even as you're making it, getting you the goals that you attain, because you get one life, so you live it to the best you can.
And I think that's a good place to wrap it up. One Piece is on both Netflix and Crunchyroll. A Crunchyroll subscription is actually pretty cheap. Yeah. The live action and parts of the anime are on Netflix right now. But the entire anime, the Japanese dub, is in its entirety up until the most recent points on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
But yeah, this is Jean. Say your Instagram handle.
Hello. So mine is _mana2. Yes, it is.
And then Brandon.
My Instagram is Mr. Louis Dunn, MrLuidon.
And I'm at Allie the Avenger _ on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh, before we wrap up, food was a 10 out of 10, service was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was.
Come to Cowboy Kitchen.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Until the next one, guys.
Till the next one. Okay.
What happened, Bubba? You giving up?